Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and this is Feedback Friday. There's gameplay from WoodyCraft.net, best Minecraft server in the multiverse in one of these corners. But the point of this video is to answer your questions from Twitter. If you're interested in following me on Twitter and getting involved in this, I'm at WoodysGamertag. But these are your questions, and here come my answers. Here we go! Woody, upcoming games for PKA plays. If you don't know, we've been talking about this concept of PKA plays on Painkiller already for ages. And I have been resisting being the leader. It's a character, either virtue or flaw, depending on the situation, that when there's a leadership void, I always step into that role. It happened on Painkiller already. On Painkiller already, at first, the videos weren't getting, or it was actually audio, but the audio wasn't getting uploaded. Like, it would like get delayed by a week, and then we'd do another show, and there'd be like 2 Painkiller Alreadys, like 2 days apart, and I'd nag, but it didn't get done, so eventually I was like, you know what? I'll do it. And then, you know, over time I started booking more of the guests and doing all the tech work and coming up with all the topics and just making sure that the thing went well, because like, I don't mean to throw everyone under the bus, but it seemed like if I didn't do it, it wasn't getting done, and I do the work that needs to get done. It's how I'm wired. On Painkiller, or PKA Plays, I've been trying, I intentionally avoided that role, because I have WoodyCraft.net, I have Painkiller already, I have videos like this, I have a family, I have a full schedule, and PKA Plays, if done right, can be every bit the workload that Painkiller already is, right? You know, some guy's going to have to spend the week researching which game we should play next. Some guy's going to have to be organizing all the people, setting all the time, finding who's available, when they're available, working around schedules, finding a guest to join us on PKA Plays. To do all that stuff is really equivalent to putting on Painkiller already itself, and I don't want to be that guy. So I just sort of dodged it. I guess I'm a Civ dodger? I don't know. And so what's next? I'm not choosing. What I'm doing is I'm accepting anything they want. It looks like Lefty sort of stepped into that role of organizing PKA Plays. He chose the time, he chose the game, I just showed up. I don't know what he'll choose next, but people are talking about Payday 2. I don't know the game. It's a bank heist game, and I think you work cooperatively, kind of like you do in Left 4 Dead. Civ 5 has been on everybody's mind lately, so we might do that. I'm down for it. We might do Age of Emperors, people have talked about, as a faster paced Civ 5. We could do Borderlands 2. I don't know. If I had to bet, I'd say Payday 2, but I have no idea. And I'm intentionally like dodging putting in input or anything. Yeah, here's my role. You name the game and the time, and I'm there. And I'll upload it, and I'll cross-promote all the guys involved and stuff, and I'm down for that. But I don't want to be the leader of PKA Plays in the same way that I feel like I do in Painkiller already, because I have a full plate, and I don't want to. So that's my spot. But I'm more than happy to follow the lead. And it looks like Lefty stepped up, and in the first 2 episodes have happened already, so that's a good thing. Remember how you thought Minecraft was a boring game? Crazy how things change. How's the prison server going? Yeah, I remember that. I think I said it on a Painkiller already or something, and it's been thrown back at me many times since then. I didn't know about the rest of Minecraft. You know, I've gone on about it before. Factions and mini games, and Minecraft's way cooler than I knew it was. The prison server, in some ways it's going great, and in some ways I delayed it a week. That's that. It was gonna go live yesterday, and now it's gonna go live on Thursday for donators, and then I think Saturday or Friday for everybody else. And I don't like to say donators. It implies it's some sort of charity. For premium ranks, that's our term. For people who've ever bought a rank, they're not monthly, they last for your life. For people who've ever given anything to WoodyCraft, you get in our new game modes early. That's one of the things we do, like a pay for more model. And so anyway, prison is cool. Basically, like you mine things, right? Get it? Like, you know, prisoner, breaking blocks, and then you sell it and you can rank up into better prisons which have better blocks. But that's just the start. That aspect of the game is a little like Cookie Clicker, and Cookie Clicker is wildly popular, and there are some prison servers that do nothing but that, but I didn't want mine to be like that. Mine has a yard and a store in it, and you have to go through the yard to sell your drugs to the store. There's a plot world, a plot me world, if you know what that is. It's like our creative server, and you can grow plants. But the you basically, like, if you grow cactus and then smelt it, it turns into, oh, I forget which drug it is. I think it might be marijuana. And if you grow reeds and turn it into sugar, that's cocaine. And if you grow, I think with lapis lazuli, you can make meth, right? The blue meth, get it? Like Breaking Bad. And anyway, you can grow drugs, and then you sell the drugs back to the server. But to sell the drugs, you have to go through the yard. And in the yard, there's all sorts of other prisoners and gangs. And we wrote this custom gang plugin so that, like, you and I can team up. And then when we hit someone, if we accidentally hit each other, it doesn't count. But the gang plugin has betrayal involved in it. So I can turn on friendly fire, and you don't even know. And then, you know, like, you think we're buds, but we're not. And me and this other guy team up, and we kill you and shank you, even though we're in the same gang, because there's deceit involved. And, you know, the whole thing, to me, like, this player-to-player interaction is what makes, to me, it's the next thing in games, and that's why we're trying to do it so right. It's like, what's cool, I've said this before, what's cool about DayZ is not the game, it's the way the players betray each other and help each other. And you know, you and I are, in factions is another, WoodyCraft faction, players will pretend to be friends with each other for weeks just to get an invite into your base. Then when I get in there, I steal all your stuff. Prison needs to be the same way. It can't just be cookie clicker where I hit blocks, sell it back to the server, and call it done. There needs to be player-to-player interaction. You know, we have premium mines in there that only premium ranks can get to, by the way. But there's PvP in there, so it's not a pure win. If you go into that mine and you start getting your stuff, then you come out, I might kill you and steal all the stuff you just mined, put it in my inventory, and sell it for myself. That kind of betrayal and, like, player versus player interaction is what we're hoping makes my prison server the best prison server the world has ever seen. There's a bunch of tech stuff. One thing we did that was super smart this time that we hadn't done before is we invited a bunch of players from the WoodyCraft.net community to play prison early and find bugs. And they did. And we've got, we found, there's like 190 something, or 150 items on the bug list, and something like 140 are solved now, like all but a couple. But just the same, I didn't want to solve them and then go live that night knowing that new stuff could pop up. We want the bug list, we want them to be unable to find bugs for some period of time, then we know that it's good. So yeah, Prison goes live Thursday, and it should be freaking awesome. And we've really done it the hard way. Like, we did all this research, all this, you know, player interaction, all this player, like, you know, people who had lots of experience in prison servers, getting their opinions, incorporating their ideas. We have, so that it doesn't lag, we invented a lot of stuff to make multiple Minecraft servers behave as one. Like, when you warp, you don't need to know or care which Minecraft server you're on. It's just bouncing you around different JVMs so that every one of them can be fast. When when you hop into a mine, when you fight, when you get your inventory on one server, then go to the other, it's all synced up. If you earn $1 on Prison 1 and then you go to Prison 2, you still have that $1. We've done some impressive technical stuff to make our prison server the best one the world has ever seen. And it goes live in 6 days. So how's it coming? Awesome. I wish it was live yesterday, but we've decided to make sure that we get it right, and that's where it is. I'm really psyched about it. We've been working on it for 6 months, so it's not like some joke. It's amazing. And our builds, our prison server will undoubtedly be the best looking prison server the world has ever seen. There's no doubt about it. And that's not me bragging, although I guess it is. I didn't do the builds. I paid for the builds. That's how I do. My builders are... I try to pay my staff, whether they be builders or tech guys or whatever, better than everyone else, so that everybody wishes they worked at WoodyCraft. That's one of the ways I do it. Plus, it's just not right to be the only guy making a buck off of it when there's so many people helping you get there. So... oh, and by the way, if you're a tester and you somehow catch this video, I'll be giving you some in-game rewards and stuff like that. So it's not just total volunteer. WoodyCraft is a great gig, but would you ever consider another server for another game alongside it? I hope I read these perfect. I do them by memory. Anyway, yes, I often consider that kind of stuff. Most of the games don't have a business model around them. Like, in Left 4 Dead, for example, right? Like, you can host a server and people will play on it and they'll play Left 4 Dead. But when you do that, like, here's why some people do it. Some people do it because in game they get to be a god, they get to like fly around, they get to do. It's like having hacks. So that's a thing. Some people do it. That's pretty much it, right? The servers are usually profit losses on a game like Left 4 Dead. Like they don't earn a ton of money. You know, it's like Gary's Mod. I don't know if there's like I've looked into it, but I don't know that there's any business model there. Like I don't think anyone pays to play those games. And WoodyCraft.net, as much as I love it, it is a business, right? It's how we put food on the table. It's my current way of earning a living. And if I was to host another server, I would want there to be some sort of business model there to make it make sense. Some people talk about Rust as an upcoming game that might do something like that. Maybe that would be a cool thing. But by and large, like there aren't a lot of games that Minecraft did something really smart, and I've got a similar thing about WoodyCraft, and I'll tell you. Minecraft, like for YouTube videos, they came out and said no copyright claims. You play this game, you put it on YouTube, knock yourself out. And then people who weren't partners, people who weren't under the protection of Machinima back when you needed it to post gameplay or monetize gameplay, could monetize Minecraft, and it helped it have a YouTube footing. So that was a good thing. Minecraft got more exposure because people could post videos about it on YouTube. Like even the Halo franchise, while it's not really enforced, you're only allowed to post YouTube videos if you don't make money on it, and I think that's a mistake. Minecraft then, like people started like reverse engineering the code because it's Java and you can decompile it, and they started making servers, and now like people like WoodyCraft.net effectively become a development arm of Minecraft. Minecraft has absolutely sold games because people go and play on WoodyCraft. I bet some of you watching this did that. Like you weren't Minecraft people, you bought a copy because you have to have a legit copy to play on WoodyCraft. You bought a copy and you tried it out. And then, you know, it's not just WoodyCraft, but like the entire PC server community has become a development arm of Minecraft. Minecraft is doing better because of it, and WoodyCraft is existent because Minecraft was open to it. And that's an interesting model. Like on the same note, Gangnam Style, remember that song? For the longest time, like he was letting people repost it, do parodies, etc. No claims, let it all go. And because of that, you had like London Style, Paris Style, you know, University of Texas Football Style, where everyone like did their own parodies. I felt like Gangnam Style was more of a cultural fun movement than just a hit song. You know, hit songs come and go. Gangnam Style lasted longer than it would have otherwise, and it got bigger than it would have otherwise. And then the WoodyCraft.net thing, we have an enterprising guy creating his own potion store. So like if you're a factions player on WoodyCraft, rather than just buy potions from the WoodyCraft store, this is in-game money I'm talking about, not real-life money, you can go to him and like players can trade it back and forth, and it becomes like a little like black market almost that exists. And so far, I've just kind of looked the other way. I know that it exists, I know that it's a thing, but what if WoodyCraft became the Minecraft server that was friendly to this sort of enterprise? And I have to think about it. Like, I don't want them undercutting the things I sell for real life money in the store, right? You know, like, that shouldn't be right. But on the other hand, like, you know, if I let an ecosystem around WoodyCraft develop, like has started to happen, then maybe that's a win for him, and it's a win for WoodyCraft, and it's a great thing. You know, you have to ask yourself, right? Or like, what if, I don't, but what if I sold like one sword and, or yeah, I do sell some packages, right? Armor, swords, the whole thing. We call it a revenge pack, right? If you get beat up by some god, then for a few dollars you can get a pack that's every bit as good as his and get your revenge. What if he starts something up where people find another way to get a revenge pack? Is that good or bad for WoodyCraft, right? It's good that there's like it's good for Minecraft in that there's this ecosystem and other people doing it. It's bad in that it's competition. I need to figure it out, but the idea of an ecosystem surrounding your game can be good for your game. And I see that blossoming at WoodyCraft. It's obviously fully blossomed for Minecraft, and I don't see other game servers embracing it, right? You know, what if you had, so for mini games, or one model, instead of pay to win, is pay for more, right? What if I had a free Left 4 Dead server, but if you're a donator, you get custom maps that other people can't play. And they could, like, I don't know, mirror COD maps or something else, I don't know. Then, you know, the pay for more model is a legit thing, right? Not pay for win, but pay for more. That's what we do in speedrun. That's what we do in survival games. That's what we do in a bunch of our games. Pay for more. And, you know, so maybe even games that don't... If game developers would let people like me be an extension of their development arm, then you'd see me getting into Gary's Mod and stuff like that a lot more. So that was a long answer, but hopefully, hopefully you liked it. The trouble with the other games is that they don't offer a business model, and they should, and that business model should be pay for more. People might subscribe to your Battlefield server if you had better maps than Battlefield had, right? Maybe a small map server or a gigantic map server or sniper only. I know a lot of these exist already, but yeah, pay for more might be a model that could work for lots of games, and they should embrace it. Cole asks, would you ever think about making a financial advice series? Not a series, I don't think. The stuff that I've done to accumulate wealth is cliche and well known and tried and true. You know, they call it get rich slow, which in itself is a cliche. But sorry, I'm gonna make a short story long. I watched this. I rewatched this thing called The Machine. If you're on YouTube, you can Google The Machine, and it's a comedian who tells a story. And in part of the story, he meets these Russian gangsters, mobsters, and starts reusing all these jokes from the 90s. Like, they're playing pool, and he does the whole color of money thing, and, you know, he's like, you know, fat guy in a little coat. And the Russian guys had never seen it before because they had been under communism and didn't see all this American stuff. So that's kind of how I feel like I am with this financial advice, right? Like dollar cost averaging, S&P 500, get rich slow. All these concepts, you know, if you were 30, would be boring to you. Like, you're like, dude, everyone knows this stuff. But if you're 13 or 18 or 22, then this might be eye-opening for you. And I could, you know, run through some math and teach you how, like, if you just invest and, you know, even reasonably, really, if you just invest amounts that you can probably live without for 20, 30 years, then you'll be a millionaire. And that's kind of how it goes. So, yeah, not so much a financial advice series, but I think I might do a financial advice basics video because a lot of people have asked me the same question. What do you think happened to X-Jaws? In the PKA episode, you shunned him as a drug addict. It's not how I remember it. What I did do is I sort of called him out for being a lot more talk than action. You know, he was talking about how he's kind of comparing himself to Bill Gates and some of these other guys, and he took the 99% pledge, which I hadn't heard of before, but it means that if you make $500 million in a year, then you'll give 99% of it to charity and live on just $5 million. And it was like 500 million in a year. Like, that's a tremendous amount of money. He had these ideas that were so good that he didn't want to share them because other people wouldn't be as noble with them as he was. And what I did call him out for, I don't think so much was the drugs, although I fear that someone's going to like find a snippet where I did do that. But I think in my mind, what I called him out for was the lack of action. Like, he had these business ideas and plans where he didn't have any expertise or value to add to that idea or plan. He would, I'm trying to remember some of the examples. Like, he wanted to run a business where he'd separate plasma from blood and sell the plasma back to hospitals and bring these RVs to like college campuses and extract it from the students and things like that. And it's like, you know, you don't have any medical knowledge, you don't have any business knowledge, you don't have, like, you don't bring anything to the table in a business like that. And there was one about remapping the neurons in your brain. So I guess they would look at how the brain of a professional athlete worked and then make a brain like mine operate in the same way as a professional athlete. This is what he tried to get me to co-invest in. And then I guess I would be closer to a professional athlete because our brains would be wired in the same ways. And it, like, I don't know. That sounds really complicated to me. This is neurology, and I want to do one more. I just had it in my head that that X-Jaws had as a plan. Oh shucks, it'll come to me. Hang in there. Hang in there. The brain. Oh. He had an idea that he would invent a pill that makes humans live forever, and yeah, you know, that kind of thing. Like I was just like, you know, why don't you focus in areas where you have expertise? That's where you should be driving. Not an area like a pill that makes you live forever. That sounds like a tough nut to crack. And what are you bringing to the table, right? They're chemists and biologists and doctors and people with their MDs and PhDs all trying to solve basic things like herpes. And he's focusing on making humans never die or close to never die. Like some of it is like never die is a really tough thing, but if we could extend the human lifespan to like 250, 750 or 10,000 years, then, you know, that would be a win too. And it's like, so what I was fussing at X-Jaws was not the drug thing in my head. It was much more the, like, you need actionable plans. You need to, like, he's a grown-up now, right? He's not in college. He's 19 years old. It's time to come up with some sort of career path for himself. And what I hear is more dreams than plans. And that's what I was telling him. And some people thought I was really rough on X-Jaws. You know, behind the scenes, like people don't know. They only see what's in the videos. Like you don't see all the behind the scenes stuff. Like I remember before that PKA, I remember there was this party that Keemstar threw, and Keemstar was doing this rap about how terrible I am or something, and X-Jaws was doing the beatbox for it, and I was like, all right, noted. Not a friend, you know. I don't usually attack people. I just write them off, you know. Like if the situations were reversed, I would have been like, hey, you know, back off. Heck, I've done that, right? You know, I've had people chill on X-Jaws for the different things he did back when he was in YouTube more full time, and then when the position changed, not the same. So when he came on Painkiller already, and I didn't come to his aid, it was like, dude, the score was already posted at that point. So so that's where that, and my relationship with X-Jaws is a little bumpy because he bumped it. You know, that's how that went down. Right now, like go to X-Jaws' channel, watch his last two videos. I think you'll see that he's still a guy who's getting himself sorted out. He, you know, it's not just a like-dislike thing. Although some of the stuff he said I thought was kind of enlightening, but by and large, it was like, yeah, X-Jaws, you gotta get yourself sorted out. I don't know. Maybe you can get back into college and give yourself an opportunity to be a student again, get your groove on, you know, in life. Because, you know, he talks about how he'd be homeless if his parents hadn't rescued him. That's not thriving. That's not where you're looking to be. So he needs to, you know, get out of the clouds, get his feet on the ground, and start working towards a plan that he can take action on, and not so much the, you know, what did he say? He was going to blow the doors off the FBI once he exposes what happens with fluorinated water. Drop that. Drop pills that make you live forever. Drop all that stuff, and you know, open up a retail store or something. I don't know. Get your feet on the ground. That would be my next step if I was X-Jaws' parents. But I'm not.